Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
The great Alex Edelman will be today's guest. We met him about 7, maybe 8 years ago. We were on the Risk podcast. It was myself, Chemda, and Alex. And he's been on 3 times on Keith and the Girl, and you're going to love him. You're going to love him. I saw on social media, Chemda, a message from my one friend in high school, Marcus.
Okay, for a second, honestly, I thought I was in trouble. I'm like, what did I post? And why is he telling me here? Okay. So your friend, which friend?
Marcus from Somerset, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And he wrote, if the only way to end COVID is for everyone to get a vaccine and booster, then can someone explain to me why the first 3 people in the US to get Omicron were already vaccinated? Asking for a friend. And then his wife added to it and said, good question, hon.
Did you explain it?
No, but I'm thinking about going back to Somerset, Pennsylvania and being king. I can't believe this was my buddy, you know?
It's been a long time since high school.
A Connecticut man was busted for kidnapping at the Canadian border when he failed to provide proof of a COVID-19 test. Christopher Costanzo, 19 years old, is accused of kidnapping and sexually assaulting a 16-year-old girl before trying to sneak her over the border, but they caught him because he couldn't provide proof of vaccination. He's one of these people, I don't know what's in it, but I'm busy fucking kids.
What? Why didn't his passport give away anything?
They just needed more information. I guess they were looking around as he's saying, no, can I still come in? And they're like, wait a minute, is there a kid in your backseat? What's that story about?
What's the plan when you take a child and try to cross borders? Like, what's the plan when, are you wearing a funny mustache? Where's the planning behind this? But
they would have let him through. It sounds like they would have let him through if he didn't push it, saying, no, I'm immunized. I don't have a card on me.
Wow.
Yeah. So good guys or bad guys, you got to get it done or you're going to get in big trouble. Hi, Camden Keith, says Sadia. I just renewed my VIP subscription. I've been listening since I heard you on the Guys We Fucked podcast, and I've been addicted ever since. I love you both so much. You don't know how much. Well, I mean, you just told me.
Yeah.
They did so much.
Oh, so much. Yeah. I'll put you down for so.
I have borderline personality disorder and have a whole bunch of toxic thoughts swirling around in my head. When I listen to you, you bring me nothing but joy and peace and new ways to perceive things. Your guests are brilliant too, and I look forward to subscribing for many years in the future. A fan from across the pond, Sadia.
Wow, Sadia, we take the bad thoughts down. And this is after you just talked about some child kidnapping and childhood friends being horrible. Look at
that. Tiffany, a gold member, says, hey, Keith and Chemda, I've been listening for 10 years, and I've been a freeloader. And I've corrected that today. I love your show. I tell people about it all the time, and you made me think, argue, scream, and laugh. So much shit over 10 years to go through, and always having you both to listen to makes it better. Please forgive me for taking so long to become a VIP member. I am happy now as a vested listener. Congrats on all your success, and I'm happy to continue listening on your journeys. Tiffany.
Oh my God, Tiffany, I'm about to be a terrible business person, but you spreading the word is like you being a VIP member. And then just delete that part and we can go on with that show.
So that's very nice. VIP, of course, is every show we've ever done for 17 years. KeithandtheGirl.com/VIP. In fact, I would recommend you listen to the last time Alex was on. I did today, and how fun it was. The episode, I have it here. The episode was number 2974, Jewish Klansman. And now he's got a off-Broadway show that stemmed from what he was telling us. Here he is, named. By the way, his comedy album you can download right now. It was NPR named it one of the best comedy albums of 2020. It's called Until Now. Alex Edelman. Hello, Alex.
Hey, man. Thanks so much for having me.
Did I get the name right? Until Now.
You did, Edelman. Oh yeah, I was like, my name. Yeah, Until Now. That's the. Although it's not on Spotify at the moment because Spotify has decided
All right.
Something is weird with the comedy. I don't know exactly what's going on there, but it seems not great. But yeah.
According to scrolling through Twitter, I half discovered that some comedians were demanding their money from Spotify, and it seems Spotify didn't want to pay up. and they're pulling their stuff from it. Or Spotify decided they're not putting that stuff on anymore.
I deserve the 11 cents that I was going to get from Spotify.
They're like,
the
you don't want
11
cents? Right. You don't want 11 cents. How about no cents? You're like, okay, you know what? The way you had it was fine.
Yeah, look, it's not for, I didn't put it up because I'm making big bucks from Spotify, but that's well, yeah, maybe I'm a bad negotiator here right now. So I don't know.
Remember, we went to that comedy coalition where comedians said, hey, we're getting a handshake for comedy. Maybe we get paid $5. And the clubs debated about it. They're like, all right, we'll give you $5. And they're like, oh, thank you. And this is the comedian's fault because you guys keep saying how you do this job for free. Stop saying that.
I won't do it for free. I just know where I just want to. I said I didn't put it on Spotify because, I thought it was a big moneymaker. But at the same time, like, yeah, I don't know. You can find it other places. And if people really like me, they'll buy it on iTunes or they'll, send me a message and go, hey, send me the album. I'll Venmo you money. I have I still quote unquote sell CDs when I'm on the road. They're not CDs now, they're little cards. Oh. They're these little cards you can download. They're called drop cards. They're amazing. And, I sell them to people. I go, pay whatever you want. And sometimes people give me $20, $50. And I'm like, you don't give me $50 for a thing you can get for free on Spotify. Buy a Spotify subscription. But people, they want to show their appreciation. It's really nice, actually.
This is like when I was in Israel. You have to haggle or they don't respect you, right?
I'm like, please take 50, Alex. And they're like, down.
You just
sounds like you are.
I do. I'm like, I'll take 5. Don't give me 50.
You know what that's like? That's like going to lunch with my mom and her friend. It's like, no, I'll pay. No, stop insulting me. I'll pay. You end up paying people to take your download card.
That's so funny. Yeah. I'm like, I'll give you $50.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Let me pay for your babysitter real quick. I took a little longer on stage today. That's going to be a bonus for the kid.
That's so funny.
I was at that. Well, do they call it the Grand Bazaar? What's that? Because it's bizarre. What's the place right by the Wailing?
The Mahane Yehuda. I know exactly what you mean. That little bazaar that you go down towards to. That's a gorgeous little shuk. It's called the shuk.
Are we talking about by the Wailing Wall? You can go in Jerusalem. You can go on the side and go through an entire market that seems like it's through a cave. Am I right? Yeah.
You see the wall first. You pray, then the Jews and Arabs can get together to shop and spit on each other. And so I was there, and they called me I was there, Alex. I saw it. But if you didn't try to haggle, they called you an asshole. I'm like, I just want a falafel magnet for $3. Can I give it to you?
I'll pay you the thing.
Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable.
Did you guys see that the Fox News here in New York, they have a Christmas tree of their own, and somebody lit the tree on fire?
Yeah, look, I'm sorry about that. I didn't like the tree.
At first, I thought Fox News did it. I'm like, oh, they're done with crosses. They're going to trees now. But apparently it was somebody else, and they burned it up.
Well, maybe it was a Jew because the Jew was like, oh, I have to light the tree. Obviously on fire. Gosh. It's the Amelia Bedelia of lighting the tree.
I understand and appreciate the reference as a 90s kid. I loved Amelia Bedelia. But I also am like, this is the Fort Sumter and the war on Christmas. Like, this is the first year we're actually having a war on Christmas.
Right.
People should be out there lighting trees. And other places, like, what if I was like, this is me advocating for more violence against Christmas? It's just like, they're like, we don't know who did it, but we found a Kwanzaa menorah at the foot of the, we found a menorah at the bottom of the thing. It was the Jews who tried.
If I find out Tucker Carlson burned the tree down, it would not shock me.
No, but they'll use it to fuel. I'm sure they looked out the window, saw the tree on fire, and thought,
"Yay,
ka-ching!" Yeah, like ratings gold, man.
They pull out a pen. They're all excited. Let's start writing.
It's so funny that we always call it the war on Christmas. Every year that phrase comes back. And it's like when I look outside and a tree's on fire, I'm just like, there's a war. Get your helmets, boys.
Right. Today, by the way, big day for Catholics. It's the Feast of the Immaculate Conception.
Ew. You guys eat Wait, hold on. Like celebrating the fucking?
If it was the feast of your birthday, Penda, we don't eat you.
That's not birth. That's conception.
It's a feast celebrating the Immaculate Conception.
Wait, how long was she pregnant for?
She was a good 9 months, but you still celebrate it because it is God inside her. If anybody, of course, doesn't know the story, she goes, "Hey, Joseph, I'm pregnant with God's baby, never had sex." And Joseph is like, "I'm mad at you. That seems impossible. Fuck off." And she goes, "No, an angel told me." Well, days go by, people are calling him a cock. And then he goes, "You know what? I just had an angel talk to me in a dream and say it's okay." And, Mary's got to be like, "Oh, did you? Okay." And then everybody plays dumb. And now we celebrate her being so virgin.
The scripture according to Keith, everyone.
Right.
Oh boy, we got to put a whole Bible together via Keith.
I don't get any of that shit.
Okay, so Noah, it's drizzling. He's got a hunch.
Right.
So Moses, he sees this water and he's like, "Not today. Not today."
I don't even understand original sin. So we're born with sin. Okay, not my fault, but all right. And then God needs to be beaten the fuck up, and then all's good. How the fuck does that make any sense? Why is it good? Because one guy was willing to get beat up. I don't get it, but you just nod.
And then it's very Goodwill Hunting because God kicks him out of the Garden of Eden. He's like, "How do you like them apples?"
That's right.
"How do you like them apples?"
Honestly, yours was so much better. I thought God kicked him out and said, "It's not your fault. It's not your fault."
Oh, that's really good.
That's what we've been saying after that. Like, it's all Eve's fault, that bitch. Don't forget.
Is there something to this that the person, did Jewish people recognize this? That the bad person that turns on Jesus, his name happens to be Judas. Is that common knowledge?
What? You mean Jews getting blamed for the death of Jesus Christ? I have never heard such a thing in all of my life. Man, some might say that could lead to violence historically over the centuries. Maybe a couple of mismanaged and miswrought crusades, a couple of deaths, some modern anti-Semitism that persists to this day. I've never heard of such a thing.
I see you have been thinking about your Talmud and discussing your philosophical conclusions. Oh, no conclusions about Judaism. We just keep talking about it. Find our own way.
Yeah, this is your guys' problem. May I say this? Have a fucking. You're probably right. See you later. Wouldn't it be best if you guys came to a conclusion or two? I think that's the problem. We have all the conclusions. You guys have lawyer books, and I think that's the confusion.
After you put together your Bible, maybe your next book could be called "The Problem with Jews" by Keith Malley. By the way, it's on my mind because I'm doing a show about anti-Semitism essentially, so it's something I think about every single day. But yeah, I mean, the word Israel means to wrestle in Hebrew.
Oh, really?
So we're the wrestlers, Jews, the original wrestlers. So yeah, no, we can never do conclusions.
I thought it was like is real, like we're the fucking realist. No,
maybe in English. Okay. Maybe in English.
Everything gets bastardized, right?
That's why my family moved here, because here we're fucking cool.
Was it a mistake to say chosen people? Because it does seem pretentious. We say saved, or it's like, oh, it's so humble. Was that a little too much?
Of course, it was a mistake. Everything's a mistake.
I will say that the track record does not suggest that we are the chosen people. I have a line in my act where I say, "Are we the chosen people? I don't know. Maybe somebody else should be chosen for a band. It would be nice." Or yeah, the track record does not suggest that we're the chosen people.
We know. Obviously, we're agreeing that it's so disgusting. But are you shocked by how recently, since Trump's presidency, I would say, Nazi symbols being walked around on flags? Are you surprised? I feel like it's not nobody's publicly so shocked. Like we're supposed to hear all sides of something.
It never went out of style.
It really doesn't.
Anti-Semitism never. We've always been on the menu. Sometimes it's We've always been there. Like, this is not this thing about Jew. Everyone's like anti-Semitism has been. I've been doing a version of this show for about 3 years, since 2018.
This is when you infiltrated
that white nationalist man. I think I told you guys about it pretty early, honestly. I think I was on the podcast pretty early to talk about this. And since I've been promoting it, people have been talking to me about recent anti-Semitism. And I just like, in this round, people are like, oh my God, there's so much recent anti-Semitism. I was like, I've been doing the show for 3 years. I've been getting a question about recent anti-Semitism for 3 years. Every single time I talk about it, people are like, man, the recent anti-Semitism. I'm like, yeah, it's always around. It's like it's racism and sexism and anti-Semitism and homophobia. They're never going away. They're just like, you know. And most people realize that, by the way. Most people are like, but yeah, it's around the holidays. It feels really awful. Around Hanukkah, it feels really fucking bad.
Is it good as an artist that your material is evergreen?
Yeah. Look, that's why I took a Zippo to that Fox News tree, fighting the one-man war on Christmas all by myself.
There's something I saw in your Wikipedia. Alex also trained rabbis to infuse humor into the high holiday services as part of the Jewish communal response to the pandemic. So this is your fault? Them trying to be funny? Yeah.
Oh, man. I told every one of them, don't be funny. Don't be funny. Get somebody funny and put that on. Don't try to be a funny rabbi. Every rabbi's got one joke. They're all awful.
What's this? Is this alluding to something real? Like, do you really write jokes for rabbis?
I mean, I wasn't writing jokes, but I was helping them figure out how to do. I did something at the beginning of the pandemic. I organized an online Passover Seder with a bunch of other people called Saturday Night Seder. And we made like a 70-minute YouTube Saturday Night Seder. And we raised like $3.5 million for COVID relief.
Wow.
Okay. It was pretty sick. And so because of that, I got asked to do a bunch of like Zoom benefits and charity stuff. And I said no to like pretty much everything because I didn't want to be like the Zoom charity guy in the pandemic. But I also, some rabbis were like, will you help us organize our high holiday services over Zoom? And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. But I did it for free. I never charged anybody for it.
Okay. You in his album, he also talks about meeting the great Barack Obama. And I didn't know you get to do, if you're a volunteer in the early days, you drive people to the polls, this kind of thing, you can hang out with the winner.
He landed when I was a kid, I worked for the Dodgers for a summer and I got to meet him really briefly. He was just walking by and I blended the volunteer thing in that. But yeah, I met him once. I shook his hand. That was it. That's the whole thing. I just got to shake his hand. I've shaken hands with a lot of people without saying, anything substantive to them. So all the stories about meeting Barack Obama are just like me saying, here's what I thought when I met Barack Obama. There's nothing, there was nothing eventful, sadly.
Oh, then I met Lauryn Hill.
Really?
I saw her at a party that I got into by faking a name okay. I was invited to a premiere of a movie, but of course I was late because at the time I was late for everything. And by the time I got there, the person who invited me was inside. And so I was like, oh, I'm on the list. I said his name. I said the company's name. I said my name. And they weren't finding it. I looked down, I saw a name. I said, oh, try that name. And I was like, she's going to know. There are only 5 names on the list that I'm looking at. And she was like, oh, that's you. You also get passes to the after party. I was like, great, that's me. What? This is how you do it? Go see the movie. It was like a Muhammad Ali movie and the Fugees performed and then they were at the after party. So as I was passing, the Fugees passing me, I turned to Lauryn Hill and I was like, you're great or some stupid shit like that. And then
you're able to sing.
Yeah. And I don't even think I even shook her hand. I may have just nodded and I don't even remember if words came out of my mind, but in my mind and Alex's mind, we met. Thank you.
Sure.
Well, Alex, Simone, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Alex, did you get a handshake from Barack on the album? You did you in real life?
I got a handshake. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
He says, like, what if I just kick him in the chest? Like, that's Barack Obama. I could just punch him in the face right now.
Yeah, that's the album, baby. I'm just like, yeah, why don't I? It's so funny. I actually met Neil Armstrong. Like, I met him in an elevator at the Intrepid on the Upper West Side. And I have a long bit about that. And that bit is 100% true. Like, I met Neil Armstrong. He wouldn't give me an autograph. He wouldn't shake my hand. He wouldn't take a picture with me. And I went, this is the worst Make-A-Wish I could have possibly asked for.
This was all on an elevator ride?
It's documentary truth. We're in. It's like, Mr. Armstrong, please. He says no. And I'm like, some worst Make-A-Wish I could have asked for.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a big fan because you went to the moon goes, can I have your autograph? I don't do that. Can you imagine?
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I have a picture with you. And he went, no. And I went, can I shake your hand? He went, go away.
But you're in an elevator. How can you go away?
I mean, an elevator, that's what I say in the joke. I'm like, you're in an elevator. You've been to space. You should know you can't go away in an elevator. It was so frustrating, this fucking guy. Well, he's dead.
He's dead. He said when Barack gave the handshake, Barack said, "Oh wow, firm handshake," and Alex said, "You have no idea," because he doesn't know what's you get nervous. You get nervous. Your dad is a cardiologist, a genius, as I understand it. Correct?
Very smart man. Yeah.
Your mom's a real estate lawyer.
Yes.
Did anybody sit you down and be like, comedy though? I make hearts.
No.
Comedy.
No. Here's the thing. They love it. I hate to ruin people's vibe when it's usually Jewish people are like, your parents must hate what you do, right? And I'm like, no, they love it. They absolutely, I genuinely think 21st century parents just want their kids to do something fun or do something that'll make them happy if they can. And maybe they want them to be safe and have a good living and to be able to support themselves.
How many people are you speaking to that are giving you that response? Constantly. Or
wait, the response I'm saying or responding going, are your parents hate
No, because we're like, hey, I bet your parents are a little uncomfortable in one way or another because parents are. And you're like, why does everyone think that? I think parents are not like that. But if everyone's asking you that, then their parents are not like that, right?
Well, I think it's their parents.
Coming across? Yeah.
I mean, I assume the people that don't ask it because it's not most of the people that I meet, but yeah, a bunch of people are. I mean, yeah, they help. My dad helps the world and I tell jokes about my feelings, but like. Have you guys
determined what is the best medicine? Is it laughter or is it an artificial heart valve?
No, it's an apple a day, Adam. It's an apple a day. No, it's an apple a day.
Do doctors consider dentists doctors?
No.
No, right?
Here's the thing. Doctors, this isn't my dad, but another doctor said, I was visiting a doctor and he snapped at me and he went, listen, if I wanted to do something easy and stupid, I would have been a dermatologist.
Wow, that's a Seinfeld episode where he's like,
it's a stupid, shitty job. Anyone can do it. No one's a genius. But this guy's a And once I said to someone, I go, the dermatologist said I have this thing. And he was like, yeah, but it's a dermatologist. So, like, are you really going to trust him? Like, it's so funny. Like, doctors don't think highly of dermatologists. It's hilarious to me.
I was just reading a story about a dentist that wanted the vaccine card, but didn't trust the vaccine. So he wore a rubber suit, like a torso over his chest that carried rubber arms. He hid his real arms in his shirt, rubber arms outside, and wanted to get the vaccine into a rubber arm.
Oh my!
He thought he would trick the CVS lady because she didn't go to school for it. How's she gonna know what skin is?
He's so good. I think he went to school via like the Home Alone movie or something.
Right. When I uncovered the arm, I felt skin that was cold and gummy, and the color was too light. You know what I would do if I found that out instead? Come on, you have a fake arm. I would pretend I'm giving the vaccine. I'd be like, it's not taken. I can't seem to find and I'd call people over one at a time, and we'd each pretend to try to just having troubles. I don't know why.
I'd stick it in his eye. I'd be like, hey, you fuck, here's your vax. Here it is in the side of your neck. I mean, like, what an idiot. Dude, just, here's the thing. Even if, and it doesn't, please don't edit this. Even if the vaccine made everybody explode in 2 months, like even if literally everyone who was vaccinated, and it hasn't happened and it won't happen, was walking down the street and all of a sudden they stopped and they're like, "Arr!" and then just exploded in a pile of meat and eyeball. You really want to be? You're not throwing in with the rest of the human race? You're not doing it because, like, here's the thing. If the vaccine kills all of us, anti-vaxxers are going to be living exclusively in a world with anti-vaxxers. Like, that's hell. Like, that's literally hell. Imagine the diverse coalition of idiots, maniacs, and lunatics who have not taken the vaccine. Like, or like people who are cowards. Like, they really genuinely don't, they want to hang out with each other. Sorry.
Well, they won't have to. No, it's cool. They won't have to take science class anymore. So it's one down. And then after that, they got to figure out math. You know, that's cool.
I don't think the people in my hometown like each other. I really don't. They just have a generational house and that's it. Now they're stuck. You know, have you heard stories from your dad about doctors fucking up, leaving a scalpel in a body, this kind of thing? Any horror stories?
No, I think that happens. That doesn't happen in good hospitals mostly, I think. You know, sometimes doctors are human beings. Sometimes they mess up or misdiagnose something and stuff like that. But they it's a pretty good time to be a patient. You know, not right now, because that's actually COVID has sapped everyone's resources. People stopped going to the hospitals in the pandemic.
So which right now?
I mean, right now is in the 21st century. Like if you had a heart attack, you know, and when my dad started practicing medicine, you had a 50% chance of not walking out of the hospital when you went into it. And now, you know, it was one of the biggest killers of the United States. And now it's gone down a tremendous amount. Like if you have a heart attack, the odds are very, 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 very likely that you'll survive it. Like modern medicine is just absolutely amazing. At Brigham and Women's Hospital, where my dad works, they're testing a nasal swab vaccine for Alzheimer's. Like, you know, like things are progressing. Well, it's a really amazing. I think it's really amazing, all the stuff.
Just don't shock all the MAGA hat wearing people with that stuff. They want to go back in time where things were better and prairie-like.
Yeah, tell them it's plant. Don't use the word vaccine. Just tell them it's plant-based or something. Or tell them the vaccine is something else. Tell them to be like, this medication injected intravenously it's bleach. It's the same bleach that President Trump was advocating.
I think we should just take their phones away and go, you like going back in time so much, you figure it out now.
Well, they're like, life used to be simple. You were 11. I'd hope so, you know. When I had knee surgery and the doctor goes, okay, so we're going to, of course, work on the left knee. And I'm like, no, the right one. He's like, yes, the right one. I meant my left, your right. And like, motherfucker, I could see in your eyes, that was a close call. Who knows? Maybe he would have looked at the paper extra and just went for it.
Is that a real story?
That's a true story. That happened to me. Yeah. And now I'm reading a story about an Austrian surgeon. I don't know what goes on over there, but he amputated an 82-year-old person's wrong leg.
Come on. They need that.
You need that. So then you got to go back to the same doctor and get the other leg done. And now you're like, oh, don't cut off my penis. And he's like, come on, don't be ridiculous. You know, it's like, all right, idiot. And you know how much he got paid? $3,049 for losing a leg from this doctor.
Who was his lawyer?
Yeah.
$3,000 a leg?
Yeah.
If I could get a third leg, I'd Venmo anyone if anyone out there is listening to this and you've got a spare leg, I will Venmo you $3,051. A whole $2 extra. I want your legs. At Alex's Live Emporium, Alex, you heard of a secondhand store. Well, this is a second leg store. This is where you can buy yourself a spare leg on my prices are rock bottom. How rock bottom are my prices? They're tattooed on the flat of a foot. That's how rock bottom they are.
I like the idea. You lose a leg. Well, I'd call my therapist. That leads to this. BetterHelp. Better, H-E-L-P. I don't know if you check out therapy, Alex, but I do, and it's working wonders for me. Kenda's a big fan of as well, and I mean BetterHelp specifically. If there's something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals, spoiler, there is, you're going to want some therapy. And BetterHelp's where you can go. It's, you can do text, you can do video, you can do phone calls, and it's cheaper than in person. Which to me, I think it'd be the opposite because it's at your convenience, no hassles. BetterHelp.com/KATG. Join over 2 million people figuring it the fuck out, okay? BetterHelp.com/KATG. Get 10% off your first month. That's it. Come on, therapists in all 50 states.
If you think that you're the one person who doesn't need to let out their feelings or talk about anything, even if it sounds mundane, try it out one time. Therapy. You try it out, and if it's that bad, I mean, as soon as you start talking, you'll feel a release. I think that's what it felt like in my first appointment. They made it very easy. It's not that frustrating system where you have to look for a therapist, and that takes forever. It's right away. It's so nice.
Alex, speaking of your wiki, what is your full name?
David Yosef Shimon ben Elazar Ruvain Alexander Halevi Edelman.
And you could just when you're born with 17 names, are you allowed to just pick whatever part you want? And you're like, Alex is the coolest word out of all those. I'm going to go with Alex.
Sure. I mean, my grandfather on my mother's side called me David Yosef. It was David Yosef. And my grandfather on my father's side calls me Alex, and mostly everybody calls me Alex. But occasionally there's the cousin that calls me David or David Yosef. But yeah, I'm sure it's misspelled on my Wikipedia. I'm positive. Everything about me on Wikipedia is extremely suspect. The one time I looked at it about 5 months ago. Okay. And I was like, there's a lot of stuff here that's wrong. It says I'm dating someone I wasn't dating. It says, it's just bananas what's on there.
Who are you dating?
Right now I'm dating a wonderful comic named Hannah Einbinder, who's a very funny comedian. Is
she upset at the wiki?
She's Jewish. I don't know if it's still on the wiki. Maybe it's my ex is married now, so hopefully it's it's corrected. Yeah. My wonderful ex-girlfriend is now fully married with a baby. So
are you friends? How do you know that?
We speak all the time. That's the one good thing is that everyone I've ever dated, with maybe one exception, but I think even that person, everyone I've ever dated speaks well of me. I think so.
This is under his personal life, and I won't say the name if it makes you uncomfortable. Edelman had an on-again, off-again relation. Should I?
I mean, her name's Catherine Ryan. It's not a,
Edelman had an on-again, off-again relationship with Canadian comedian Catherine Ryan. That's the whole section.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty good.
What the fuck? Sometimes it works out. He needs to step up.
It's very strange. On-again, off-again relation. I mean, not. But here's the thing. Catherine, for her, I think when it's hard when you're a comedian representing your relationship or representing a lot of your relationships in one joke or something out of either, a desire to be circumspect about your personal life or something like that, or even just for the sake of the joke, it's hard to...
It's just still funny. It's in the website of facts. That's all.
It's very strange to me. And it wasn't an on-again, really. We dated pretty solidly with a break in the middle. I don't know. Maybe it's on again, off again. I don't know. But yeah, it's crazy that that's all of my personal life. They don't include the fact that I'm an avid hiker. I'd really love to be known as an avid hiker.
Do you ever try to add to Wikipedia? They did pretty good though.
I don't look at my own. I try to assiduously avoid what's on the internet. And also, there are 2 or 3 like lies out there about me, and it doesn't bother me. Like, it doesn't bother me because I think that like the internet, like we don't owe the truth to the internet. Like,
what are the 2 or 3 lies?
Someone said that I was so cocky when I won an award that I offered it to anyone who would take it home in their check bag because I didn't want to pay the check baggage fee for the award.
And you didn't do that?
I didn't do that. Also, like my brother AJ, I used to have a joke where I go, my twin brother AJ, because we look like twins, and then a comic I respect was like, just say you guys are twins. No one gives a shit. And now the internet's like, he has a twin brother AJ because I did the joke. So like that, those are the 2. And I'm just like, I don't care. I don't owe you anything. It's, it's one half of a joke.
But when people would write to you and say, hey, I'm a twin like you, do you feel like a piece of shit or who cares?
I always write back and go, it's a joke. I'm not a twin. But like it's very tricky because like, for instance, sometimes you tell a joke and then what I do is I start always with the truth and then I tweak.
Right.
I start with the truth and then I'll be like, this is better, this is better, this is better. But like, yeah.
Do you have, by the way, speaking of your girlfriend now, do you have Christmas shopping done?
She's Jewish.
Nice. Good for you.
I'm dating a Jew. My first time in a relationship with a Jew. She's very, very sweet.
Did you do Hanukkah okay?
Nice. Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, we were away from each other, so we had Thanksgiving together. Then I had to go to Hilarities in Cleveland, which was wonderful, but there was a shame being away. So we just talked on the phone every day and lit the candles over there. I got my menorah still. I haven't cleaned up my menorah yet.
Okay.
I like that you said, did you do Hanukkah? He's like, I did Hanukkah well. He said, what'd you do for Hanukkah?
I didn't.
So me and her, we were away.
Well, I did Hanukkah. Doing Hanukkah is, doing Hanukkah is just lighting the candles, isn't it?
It's an every time you say Hanukkah, right? Are you preparing to say the word?
Did you light the candles together on FaceTime?
Yeah, one night.
Yeah?
That was cool.
That's
Can you do the blessing for us?
That's your brother's name?
That's a pretty cool one. Blessed is God, Master of the world. Shasanisim, we did miracles, Lavosenu for our forefathers, by Mimhaim in the days past, and Bisman Hazab, which is now. And why, if that's true, was there anti-Semitism, and does there continue to be anti-Semitism, if that gorgeous blessing is true in any sense?
Amen.
Well, let me mention this, if I may. Speaking of gifts, I have these and I love them. Raycon wireless earbuds. Put them in my ear. They stay in my ear. I can do dishes. I can take a piss, and they're right there. The music is rocking and the music is rolling. They have what they call kind of the pure mode. They listen to, like, let's say, podcasts or instrumentals, subtle things. Balanced mode for your rock, your heavy metal. Bass mode for your hip hop, your EDM, this kind of thing. Raycons, they're available in 5 stylish colors. Mine's like a goldish kind of thing. So you can pick a perfect one for everyone on your list. And that's how I'm playing it. The holidays are coming up faster than you think. Now's the time to knock out that gift list and avoid the last minute shipping scramble, especially because right now you can get 15% off site-wide with code HOLIDAY at Raycon.com/KTG. That's buy, RAYCON, Raycon.com/KTG. Use code HOLIDAY, get 15% off. You are welcome. Buy Raycon.com/KTG. All right.
Just go to the link and check them out. I got to say, I like the big part of the headphones for me is how they fit in the ears. And this one fits really snug. I like that they don't feel like they're falling out, but they don't feel like they're taking up your whole ear.
Right. You mentioned, Alex, working for a sports organization. I know you also did some stuff with the Red Sox. You did stuff with Milwaukee Bruins. What was your job in general? What do you do? PR.
PR, okay. And I wrote some speeches and press releases and pregame ceremonies. And
Alex wrote a heavy speech after the Boston bombing, right?
That's right. I helped write the first pregame ceremony back after the marathon bombing. That was wild, and I think that wasn't that long before or after I was on your show for the first time. That was 2013, right. And it was crazy. That was that's the last sort of significant thing I've done in sports, but yeah.
What's a job in PR in general? Are you like, hey guys, baseball still?
Yeah, I'm like, baseball, it's the same game that and kind of like. Baseball. Do you like slow? Then you'll love baseball. Baseball, it's like hockey, but the opposite in every single way.
I have friends that say they love baseball, but I've been in the house when they were, quote, watching, and they're walking around the whole house. And I'm like, if you had to do a report on this, you couldn't now. And I don't think that means you love it.
Baseball, the one thing that you and your grandfather can bond over.
Right. Because you're both staring straight ahead.
Yeah. That's actually, I said that on Berbiglia's podcast. I was Yeah, I was like, it was a sport invented for early 20th century dads who wanted to talk to their kids but didn't want to look at them while they did it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. They're just like, hey, so how's the schooling going, son? And this sounds like pretty good, Dad.
Just staring
call
straight
strike
ahead.
3, they're
yay!
each other.
Saved by the ball. Let me ask you some sports questions, if I may. Okay,
1,000%. I'm thrilled.
You know what's doing.
He was sorry, Alex. He was talking to me. Yes,
right. Whoever wants to take it. Right, yep. Right. Could the best college team beat the worst pro team? Could, let's say, Alabama Crimson Tide beat the Detroit Lions? Or
I can tell by your tone. The answer is no. Alex?
I don't know.
The answer is no. The answer is no. These guys are superstars. It's like, it would be like, hey, can a team of pretty good players beat an all-star team that practices 3 times a week for a year? Like, it's just not possible. Like, it depends. It depends. Sometimes baseball players or baseball teams, professional teams, will play college teams in spring training and very occasionally lose, but that's because they're not trying. So it's very rare. But sometimes the Red Sox play Boston College, but yeah, the Crimson Tide would get absolutely creamed by the Detroit Lions, and the tail of the tape bears that out.
Okay. All right. What do we think about cheating scandals? It's been a bit now, but for example, deflated balls, steroids, this kind of thing. Does it matter? Do people give a fuck? I'm surprised that it didn't seem people cared about the steroids when that was a big thing in our lives.
People did care about the steroids. It ruined baseball for a lot of people, and baseball had a noticeable dip. Oh my God, I'm so not funny when it comes to sports because I just I turn into encyclopedia boring. But
I'm curious. No.
Baseball had a big effect. I actually don't personally believe the stats just don't work for me for the deflate thing. And even if it was true, which I don't believe, fine. Let's say it was true and Tom Brady was suspended for 4 games and then he came back and the Patriots went on to win the Super Bowl. And then they won another Super Bowl 2 years later after going to the Super Bowl again. And now Tom Brady is in Tampa Bay where he's won another Super Bowl. Okay, a lot of these guys –
but is this if I stole my neighbor's package and then I said, I could have just bought it myself anyway. It's not that big a deal.
I mean, I don't see the same analogy, but sure. No, it's fine. So if he cheated, if Tom Brady cheated and they really shouldn't have been able to go to the Super Bowl or something. I don't know. The whole thing to me seemed really
I got one.
Grasping at straws. Go ahead.
Is that if I shoot you and I go, I could have killed you anyway with my bare hands? Let's do more of these.
No, it's like if somebody shot somebody else and then went on to kill 8 more people with his bare hands. And everyone's like, well, he needed the gun. And you're like, no, he just killed a lot more people with his bare hands, you know? Guns don't kill people, quarterbacks kill people, you know? Like, that's how.
Is the tomahawk chop never going to go away because people are trying to prove a point? Like, you're going to call me deplorable? I'll show you deplorable.
I think it's stupid. Like,
is it harmless?
You really care that much? You care that much about? I don't know. Well, I don't know. If Native Americans say it's harmful, then it's harmful. Right. I think white people should probably stop telling, you know, people of color, you know, white men should stop telling Jews, women of color, and, you know, and people of color, women in general, what is and isn't effect. Like, you saw that poll this week about Latinx.
That what 30% or more of Latin people
40%
don't
of
trust
Latino
somebody.
people don't like it. Like 80% of them think it's stupid and they hate it, and you know, 40% of them are just like, I'm not going to vote for someone who says Latinx. So like, okay, let's stop using it if the people that, you know, but at the same time, the tomahawk chop does, to me, as an uneducated observer, it seems offensive. It seems like they don't like it. I don't think it'll last forever. Also, it's tacky. It's tacky to do something because, like, now that's how you wind up with the Washington football team instead of instead of like a legitimately great name. And so, like, sometimes things age out. Sometimes things are inappropriate for a long time. Everything has a problematic history because, like, we are from a problematic past. So, like, all you can do is slowly cut out the stuff that's problematic and hope to get better. Like, would it kill people to stop doing the stupid arm gesture? Like, stop doing the stupid arm gesture.
What's the deal though with that? The Washington football team, is that it doesn't take over 2 years to figure out a fucking name. Is it a ploy to sell merchandise that's different for a moment? Is it to stick to your guns? Okay, you want no name? Now there's no name.
Well, the Cleveland Indians have just become the Cleveland Guardians, and like,
right. Okay, so what's Washington doing in football?
I don't know. They should be the Washington. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to figure it out, trying to game it out.
They just can't figure out a name. They just can't find a name.
And they should call themselves the Transformers. Is that TM'd?
Because they keep changing,
yes.
Right?
But also because that's like cool as fuck.
It is cool as fuck. That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Let me tell you about one more holiday gift idea, if I may. Storyworth. Storyworth is an online service that helps you and your loved ones preserve precious memories and stories for years to come. Come to use this with her boyfriend, as a matter of fact. The service asks them like little questions. Hey, what was your first job? What was this? What was that? Then they put that information to a keepsake book, and it's very sweet and very memorable. Am I describing it right, Khanda?
Yeah, and at some point, I'm gonna finish it and possibly post it because it's just I end up writing stories. At some, they asked me about my grandfather one time, and then I'm now recalling fun stories. I always saw my grandfather at 80, but I think he died at 80. And it's like, well, how was that? I knew him like a lot of my adult life. And even though he was always old, he used to carry these giant watermelons. I don't know. It's a story for reading. And it's a story that that I maybe wouldn't have thought of. And then maybe we wouldn't have talked about our grandparents and our family in that way. And it's really sweet. And I would love for my parents to fill this out so that we know what happened in your life. We get to know you, and you can add pictures and stuff. It's pretty amazing.
With Storyworth, I'm giving those I love most a thoughtful personal gift from the heart and preserving their memories and stories for years to come. Go to storyworth.com/KATG. Save $10 on your first purchase. Again, storyworth.com/KATG to save $10 on your first purchase. Alex, it's so good to see you again. I am going to check out your show. I would love to. It's called Just for Us. It's him being in white supremacist group. He got like shit online. He was telling us a little bit before, and then accidentally he gets a link to show up somewhere. And he goes, you know what? I'm going to show up somewhere and see what's doing. He says there's a big twist that I don't know about. I think he joins the KKK, but we're going to find out. And I'm very excited. Just for Us is that. Go ahead.
No, it's like, what if that was a twist? We're like, guys, I'm passing out hoods and sheets to everyone. All right, we're all going to leave this theater. We're all going to leave this theater, go uptown and burn down the Fox News Christmas tree.
Right. Just for Us is at the Cherry Lane Theater in NYC now until December 19th.
Actually, Keith, it got extended today. It got
Wow,
extended until, I know.
Wow.
It got extended at January 8th, which I can't believe. I'm so thrilled. We'll see what's happening. But yeah, it seems to be going pretty well. And it's being produced by Mike Birbiglia.
Yeah, he's great.
Who is just, a comedy god, comedy legend.
How much of a merging do you guys do? Like, is he in the same room? I know it's production, it's not direction. How is he a part of it? That's an awesome question. He gives great notes. Like, he listens to, no, seriously. First of all, it's the first question that I asked when he was like, can I produce it? I was like, well, how much are you going to help? My director, Adam Brace, flew over from the UK. He's been here since the beginning. He's one of the guys I first told like the story to. And then he was like, yeah, you need to do stand-up about that. That needs to be a show. So Adam's directing it, but he and Birbiglia talk all the time. Birbiglia and I speak all the time, which is awesome. Like, imagine you're a young musician and like Tom Petty, but alive, decides to produce your record or something like that. And
I heard some of the earlier shows with you on, and you were praising Mike Birbiglia so much. Was that a trick?
No,
it worked out.
I just liked him a lot, and I was a pretty big fan of the guys. But I don't know. This is kind of a dream come true. I'm kind of thrilled. But also, how many times am I going to get a chance to have a show in New York? I don't imagine many. But the guys who I saw Colin Quinn's when I was a kid. I saw one of Colin's solo shows. The first thing I saw in New York. And the other night, I got to go watch Colin because he's being produced by the same people up the street. He was at the Lortel. And now he's on tour. But it was so cool to I don't know. I'm quelling. It's nice for me. It's nice for me to be doing this. I'm trying to savor it and appreciate it, even though, no.
And how great is it to call it a solo show? Because if it's stand up and a joke doesn't work, that's terrible. But here, if it kind of works, it's pretty fucking funny for just talking, So good for you. Good for you.
Wow. That's so. So you know what happens? They're in the Bible, and so Joseph's got this coat, and the coat's it's like a rainbow coat, but it's not it looks good. It looks good is what I'm saying. The coat, and they see the coat, his brothers, and they're like, why didn't we get coats? And so they decide to sell him into slavery. So
Alex, thank you so much for your time. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too, man. Appreciate it.
Let me mention this real quick. This Sunday, it's the Keith and the Girl Poker Tournament Championship. Join us Wednesdays for the regular Keith and the Girl poker game, or just come in and chat, keithandthegirl.com/chat. This Saturday is the final Silent Trailers game show of the year. All Kickstarter backers were emailed their free ticket. And for some reason you don't see it, email us info@keithandthegirl.com. That's it, and we'll talk to you soon.
KeithandTheGirl.com